to this, there's multiple fire trucks out there, as well as we know one big rig involved. We're finding out information on the other vehicles involved as well. But this was a wreck that ended up being a big fire. This is a look right there from the storm chaser. Chief Meteorologist Scott Covert was out looking at the roads, and then they came upon this wreck, and now they're getting a live look at it up close and personal. Scott, what are y'all seeing?
Hey, good morning, Tiffany. We were out checking road conditions, and as we've been reporting all morning long, there's just really bad road conditions. Unknown if those road conditions contributed to this or not. Obviously, it'll be some time before we learn that. A lot of smoke, as we can see now. Just for some context, to the right is the way station, to the left is the Big Sam's Furniture Complex. It involves at least two 18-wheelers, one of which is a Walmart 18-wheeler. We can tell that from some of our ARDOT cameras. Both vehicles, both big rigs, engulfed in flames. As I zoom in a little bit tighter, you can see that. A large fire response from Springdale Fire Department. They've been attacking it from both directions. You can see the trailer on at least one of the trucks also starting to have some structural issues there. A large billowing cloud of black smoke that's drifting off towards the southeast. That's going to be moving into the Springdale area here real soon. This is a live look from the storm chaser. We're safely removed from it. The camera that we have on top of the storm chaser allows us to zoom in really tightly, allowing us to maintain some safe distance. But this is what we're looking at. All southbound traffic along 49 is at a complete state.
All right, well, that is another look right there. You just heard from Chief Meteorologist.
Given how long it's going to take.
All right, well, thanks so much for that, Scott.
Yeah, sorry about that, Tiffany. A little bit of a delay there. A lot of smoke as Springdale Fire Department continues to try to extinguish the flames. It looks like they'll make a little bit of progress from time to time, but then more and more of those flames are visible. Can't see any right now, but both vehicles do appear to be involved in this large fire.
And Scott, it looks like Springdale Fire Department is out there. Does it look like they brought out any other crews to help as well?
So we're sitting south of the accident, and you're exactly right. I've seen a large Springdale fire response. I've seen Arkansas State Police. I've seen some local police as well, and I even believe the EMS is also on scene, but I've not seen any other fire departments per se, but at least probably anywhere between a half dozen, upwards of a dozen Springdale firefighters on scene working to extinguish these flames.
Well, and we saw, according to iDrive, there's no reports yet of any injuries or anything like that, but were y'all able to see anyone maybe getting out of those vehicles or them assisting people who had been in those vehicles?
No, we arrived on scene. We just happened to be right in the neighborhood, but we probably arrived on scene with about 3 to 4 minutes after the actual accident itself happened. So it's of course our hope that they were able to get out and rendered aid, but we've not been able to see anybody, largely just due to the flames and the smoke from our angle. We're on, again, the southbound side. I think some of those ARDOT cameras have a little bit better of an angle from the one sitting over on the eastbound way station.
And for people that were planning on getting the road heading southbound in that direction, what would your advice be to them?
Well, number one, these road conditions are just bad all across northwest Arkansas. Look, and I don't know if this was weather related, but I would venture to bet, if I had to, that it probably was. Roads are bad all across northwest, even the River Valley. A little bit different reason why. Got a little bit more ice in the River Valley, lots of snow and ice in northwest Arkansas. And so if you're going to have to be out and about, number one, you got to use a lot of caution. Number two, if you need to travel southbound on 49, you're going to want to consider an alternative route. But when you get on those secondary and side streets, the roads are even worse. So easy travel is not something we're going to be coming by here today.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Scott. Y'all definitely stay safe out there and keep us updated as y'all learn more. Well, we're going to go ahead and take another look. This is from the Holiday Inn camera in Springdale. You can see that smoke so much in that area. So if you're just tuning in, you're wondering what this smoke is. This is from an accident, multi-vehicles in the Springdale area right there in front of Sam's Furniture heading southbound right before you take that Sunset Boulevard exit. And so what we know right now, like we said, multiple vehicles involved. There's multiple crews out there responding to this fire. We do have limited info at this time. At this moment, thankfully, no injuries have been reported, but we are working to learn more on that. We do know that traffic is closed in all lanes heading southbound in that direction near that exit. And we also know that we will have more on our website as we are learning more. But again, all lanes are blocked southbound in front of Sam's Furniture around the Sunset exit. Multiple vehicles involved, and we are working to learn more, and we'll have those updates throughout the day at 5newsonline.com and later today on our 5 News shows. We're going to send it back to regular programming.
We're gonna just reposition so we can get out of the smoke, but we'll keep visual on it. Keep going. Maybe like right up here, just off to the side a little bit. Was gonna stay here as long as you wanted the shot up. Repeat that, please.
We're
Okay. Yeah.
breaking news.
We're joining you live just into the newsroom in the last 30 minutes. All lane blocked southbound in front of Sam's Furniture around the Sunset exit. You can see it right here. This is the aftermath after a big rig and some other vehicles involved had a collision, and now multiple crews there are on scene trying to put out this fire.
Yeah, traffic at a standstill as of right now. We did check in with the fire department there in Springdale. They say they have not transported anyone yet, so we're not sure of any injuries from this as of now, but we are keeping an eye on it. They do say that the biggest issue right now is getting water supply to that area. They say they've reached out to Hickory Creek and Johnson for assistance and multiple other agencies that are on scene right now. Now, just a few minutes ago, there was a lot of flames here. We were seeing it looks like they've got that knocked down so far.
Yeah, for sure. And this is just, if you don't know where Sam's Furniture is, this is southbound right in front of that Sunset exit in Springdale. And so if you were planning on going in that direction this morning, just know all these lanes, they are impacted by this accident. And so that will be closed down until they can get this cleared up.
Absolutely. All right, let's go out to Chief Meteorologist Scott Covert. He's in the 5 News Storm Chaser there nearby. Scott, what do you know so far?
Yeah, so there's two 18-wheelers involved in this accident and potentially a passenger vehicle involved. The 18-wheelers both were engulfed in flames when we arrived on scene within 2, maybe 3 minutes tops after the collision itself occurred. We just happened to be along I-49 checking road conditions as we've been reporting on all morning long. Roads have been terrible all across Northwest Arkansas. There's a thin layer of ice, and on top of that, there's a few to several inches of snow. Of course, we don't know. It's too early to know if this is weather related, but I'll tell you, I mean, you see the snowplow go by right there, that the roads are just atrocious across the area. A large response from Springdale Fire Department initially on scene within a few minutes of us arriving. They were working to attack that fire, but it just continued to be engulfed in flames, both 18-wheelers themselves, and at some point that the flames transitioned over into the actual trailers that they were carrying. So that's what we're looking at right now. We're over safely off of the interstate over near the rest area along the northbound lanes, but all southbound traffic is closed. Thankfully, there wasn't a lot of volume on the roadways as there typically would be on a clear day. But even with a little bit of volume that were traveling towards the south, that's now backing up almost to the Missouri-Arkansas state line. And this accident itself here, actually in the Springdale area. You're looking live from our storm chaser. We've got a camera that sits up top that allows us to zoom in from really far away. So we're at a very safe distance. We did move. We were south of it, but because of those northerly winds, we lost a little bit of visibility. The winds were blowing the smoke right our direction. So we did move over towards the eastbound way station where we can safely park and zoom in and get an idea of what's happening. Springdale Fire looks like they're waiting on some additional assistance for some water to help extinguish those flames. They're not just standing around. I think they're just letting this thing do its thing and waiting for some assistance from other fire departments, as you guys have been reporting. In addition to Springdale Fire Department, it looks like there's at least a few other agencies, Arkansas State Police, a large medical crew also here. Not sure if they're rendering aid or if they're actually just on standby for any potential issues the firefighters themselves may have. The smoke was pretty thick for a while, and I know they're trained to handle that, and they've got the personal protective equipment they need. But certainly the amount of smoke and chemicals that were apparent in the air just from the actual engines and the gas and the fuel was very noticeable, even from us from far away. So looks like things are improving here, but it may be some time before that roadway gets back open. These types of accidents often take a long time to clear. It's more than just putting out the flames. There's some chemical aspect they're going to have to clean up, and when it involves two 18-wheelers and potentially the passenger vehicle that we believe may have been involved, it very well is a problematic accident that is going to take some time.
All right, thank you so much for that, Scott. Of course, we're going to keep an eye on this. We'll continue to monitor what comes out of it. We still need to know if there's any injuries involved, so we're going to continue to check with crews and see what they know.
Yeah, and as we get that information, we will have those live updates on our website, 5newsonline.com, and throughout the day on our 5 News at noon, 4, 5, 6, and 10. But now we're going to send it over to Steven for a check from him as well.
Yeah, we got multiple different angles of cameras pointing at this accident. We're using some of ARDOT's
spots. We have our camera there on top of the Holiday Inn there as well. Also, Chief Meteorologist Scott Covert providing a really in-depth look there from the storm chaser as well. Here's a look at those road conditions. Right now, you see that camera pointing there. This is from that ARDOT camera in and around that area. But Scott said something very important there that I don't want you to miss. Again, if you think that, okay, there's an accident, looks like the flames are out, should be good to go here in just a little bit, this accident is going to take a little bit to be cleared up. So if you need to travel southbound through this area, more than likely it is going to take a long time to get in and around that area. You take a look. Right now, where it has that snow covered as well, but when we take that away, what you see is the backup that's leading all across the area. That's going all the way up towards that southbound lane there. Another accident report there. That's probably the same accident in and around that, but it's not the only accident we have. We've had multiple this morning. They're still cleaning up that one between Dyer and Mulberry, in between on I-40 as well. But this accident, the backup that's going to come along with it, it's hard to tell where those cars behind that scene would go if they are able to open up a little bit of a path. I know that the Sunset exit is right there, that maybe they can allow some cars to squeeze by and maybe able to get off to that exit and then go to their destination, wherever that may be. But at least until the scene has been cleared and they can open up that one lane, there's really no way for any cars to turn around because they've got the median right there. There's a side road off just to the side, but there's no direct access to that. Again, this is right by Sam's Furniture there at Springdale, so you know that area, you know that that curve as well. Not great with the wintry conditions that we have out there right now. You just look at this camera, you see the other direction going back. Really good look at that lane. It looks like there's at least one lane open from the snow coverage there. But as long as this remains closed, this section of the Springdale area with 49 at least is not getting any of that treatment when it comes from snow crews. So again, this is going to be a isolated event when it comes to this accident, but think about the potential of how much this is going to back up the time of clearing up snow in and around that area. As long as traffic's built up in there as well, we're not going to be able to get those snow plows through there to clear up more of those lanes. Of course, crews still putting out that right now. Earlier, like Scott mentioned, like Joe and Tiffany mentioned, we were seeing a lot of flames, a lot of smoke coming through there as well. Looks like they're getting at least the flames under control, but there's a lot of crews responding to the scene right now. Again, there's really no direct access for those cars stuck behind this accident. The traffic buildup from that is going to continue to grow. If you need to go southbound or south from northwest Arkansas to where your destination may be, more than likely you need to find another way down there. It might take you a little bit longer, but the alternative is being stuck in this traffic for who knows how long until they can at least get one lane open. Maybe they feel like that may not be safe enough in the first place, and that we could be here for a while with this clogged up.
Well, Stephen, you mentioned, they're not going to be able to clear that, but I wonder too, with all that water, with how cold it is, that might just be freezing. So then you've got more ice on the roads potentially. So this really could be a dangerous situation in more ways than one.
Yeah, it's tricky to speculate where that water is running off to. I know this, I drive by this area. It is a little bit on a lean, so most of that water more than likely is going to run off to the side of the road. The worst issue with that would be at least that right lane. If it still has some snowpack in it, that would obviously make things worse. But you're right, Tiffany, any water left on the roadways, that's going to instantly freeze here because temperatures are well below freezing, going to remain that way throughout the rest of the day today as well. So they more than likely have some type of chemical or sand or something that they put on all that water, all those chemicals that they use to put out this type of flame from two different semi-trucks there that they'll put on afterwards when the scene is cleaned up. Maybe try to eat up some of that moisture, but outside of that, it's not just the water that they're using. We're going to be dealing with some debris in the roadways here. Again, imagine the cleanup process, how long this could take. You have to pick up every piece of scrap of metal. This is going to more than likely take up most of the morning hours, if not into the afternoon.
Yeah, probably take quite a while. Those folks who are stuck there, they're going to be there for just a minute. Hopefully they filled up the tank so they can sit there and keep the heater on and stay warm. Again, all lanes here southbound blocked to I-49 there in front of Sam's Furniture in the Springdale area where it looks like two semi-tractor trailers and possibly just a one-car vehicle in an accident. There was a fire here. Crews are on the scene. It's going to take a bit to open this back up.
Yeah, this is a live look from our storm chaser where they just happened to come upon this wreck right after it happened, just checking the roadways. And so we've got crews out there working on this. We'll keep you updated as we learn more throughout the morning and throughout the day.